Well, I didn't really know what to do with this request, so I know you're Snooker Loopy nuts, so here we go. Might as well, rather than just talking, I might as well try and sing it. So, Snooker Loopy nuts are we, me and him and them and me. We'll show you what we can do with a load of balls and a snooker cue. Pot the red, then screw back for the yellow, green, brown, blue, pink and black. Snooker Loopy nuts are we. We're all snooker loopy. Bum 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 bum.
Turn up! Turn up! Oh, what a fantastic century. I can't believe it. After all this time, probably the slowest century in the history of snooker. But after roughly 3.5 years, Snooker Loopy Podcast, it's turn up. It's the century. My name is Tom Mayhew, and I'm joined as always by my very, very good friend. He's going to win the High Break Prize. It's Mr. Twinkle Toes Joe Hannard.
Well, a very good evening, Hazel. Good evening, Seema. Good evening, Jason. Good evening, Rishi. Good evening, Radzi. Good evening, Catherine. Good evening, Tom. And good evening, everybody at home. Welcome to our Centurion episode 100. We've been building up to it for a little while. And for once, we're not going to be talking about a current snooker. This is just going to be an episode of silliness, I think, Tom. There's no script for it. There's no desperate plan for it, but we have got some very special features later on. A full suite of cue the music, cue the laughter, and quiz Wakelin to enjoy later on. But happy 100th, Tom.
Happy 100th. We should get a letter from the king, right?
Yeah, King Dale himself. Or King Bingham.
King Bingham or the king of the Crucible, of course.
Oh, indeed, yes, Stephen Hendry. Well, Tom, I don't know what you've got up your sleeve, but you might well have Stephen Hendry finally singing Snooker Loopy.
I wish, Joe. I wish. If I had that, I would have already said it straight away. I would have just blurted it out. I would have gone, I got Stephen Hendry right at the start, and you become, what? So I've not got that yet. One day we'll get it. Even if we have to get it live by chasing him down the street in Sheffield, we'll get it one day.
Yeah, good luck with that, Tom.
How are you, though, Joe? The first time we've chatted for just over roughly a week since the, less than a week, actually, since the World Final.
Yeah, it's the Crucible blues definitely have set in, especially because I was half expecting the World Seniors to sort of catch fire and you know, soothe those blues, but I think it's more likely to catch fire literally, given what's gone on this week. But yeah, we don't want to have any negativity in this podcast, but yeah, snooker blues have definitely set in. What about for you, Tom?
Same. It's been it's always it's the day after, you know, when you wake up and just go, oh, there's nothing to watch today. Like usually you'd have so many hours of snooker, you have this match to choose from or this match, and then you wake up and just go, oh no, there's nothing. And I have tried to watch a bit of the seniors, and it's just not as good, either the standard or any of it, even though I will say one person I've actually really enjoyed on commentary, Cliff Orban. I think he's brilliant.
Yeah, Cliff Thorburn, a good guy to have in there. He's got the experience. One person I've not enjoyed at all in any way, shape or form is Lee the Shirt. Not a fan of him, I've got to be honest, Tom.
But he's Lee the Shirt. How could you not like Lee the Shirt, Joe?
I still don't know who Lee the Shirt is or why he's there.
Because he used to be on Big Break doing a rap like 20 years ago, so that means he's relevant.
Right, okay. Yeah. Fair enough, Tom.
I don't know. Maybe we'll get him on the podcast and just get him to explain himself.
Explain why he's called Lee the Shirt and explain how on earth he got involved in presenting snooker coverage at the Crucible.
Well, you know, at least it gives someone else a chance to live their dream. I believe that's the catchphrase for the seniors, isn't it? Like dreams come true or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I suppose so. Go on then. What are some of your best memories over the last 100 episodes?
I mean, I think probably part of it is obviously the many memos of different snooker players that we've got and just seeing what they do with them. I mean, who would have thought this time 100 episodes ago that we'd have a video of Sean Murphy thrusting while singing Snooker Loopy? I don't think anyone would have predicted that.
Well, absolutely not. I mean, we've had Mark King running around a car park. We've had Dennis. We've had John Virgil. We've had Ken in a rush. Alexander Ursenbacher didn't even finish the song. You know, it's been quite a time, hasn't it?
And that's not even mentioned Stuart Bingham with his Dennis Taylor glasses, of course. And I mean, I don't want to make sure we don't miss Gary Wilson. I want to make sure we don't miss anyone, because I'd feel bad if someone goes, "Oh, what about that one by blah blah blah?" and we go, if we remember Mark King and not someone else who's on tour, I'd feel really awful. So.
Yeah, I think we've got them all there, Tom. Obviously, we've also been sent other Snooker Loopy entrants into the Cue the Music calendar. We had Chris Reed, which of course was the very famous one with the piano coming in halfway through. We obviously had Matt from Middlesbrough get involved. Fionn got involved. Ryan Walker is in there as well. We did have an impression of Phil Yates and Dennis Taylor come through with that. I think that's all of our Snooker Loopy.
Ian did one as well, if I remember.
Oh yeah, Ian McKeown, yeah, he brought one in. I'm just scrolling down our little league table that we've got. As I say little, there's 70 songs on there now, Tom, that we've reviewed. I have to say, the music has possibly been my highlight of it all, because we found some really crazy things like Joe Johnson singing "Everlasting Love." I mean, who would have thought that would be that would be such a loved thing on this podcast? I don't know if anybody at home actually enjoys it, because nobody ever comments about Joe Johnson's "Everlasting Love," but we certainly have everlasting love for it, I think.
I've definitely seen a spike in the number of views of that song on YouTube. Now, that might just be me and Joe. I don't know. Maybe me and Joe have just got it on heavy rotation. That is definitely a possibility. But I'm sure a few more people must be fans of Joe Johnson's probably forgotten single. I was going to call it a hit single, but that would probably not be accurate, because I don't think it charted anywhere. But not yet. Who knows? Maybe one day.
Yeah,
when this podcast
40th anniversary, of course, of that song coming out this year. There could be a re-release coming out.
I do.
Who knows?
I hope it's coming out on CD, on vinyl, on cassette, a special like picture disc edition. I want it all. I want all the different. You know, if anyone knows Joe Johnson, tell him that if he does that, he'll sell at least 2 copies.
Now, does it come with the B-side of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, Tom?
Ideally, yes. I mean, that wasn't as much of a highlight, was it? But we still enjoyed it. And of course, other ones like Hurricane Higgins singing 147, that's my idea of heaven. Who thought that we'd like a song sung by Alex to Hurricane Higgins and really dislike a song by his niece?
Well, I was about to say Somewhere Over the Rainbow by Joe Johnson comes in at 33, whereas Somewhere Over the Rainbow by Alex Higgins' great niece is down at 63. So, I mean, we're now starting to collect a decent number of tracks that are below Alex Higgins' great niece, to be honest. We've got 7 of them down there. Most of them are the Big Bill Werbenack 147 Pints mix, but we've also got our original review of Wallop by Chaz and Dave, and then Minted Jimmy White is down there as well. And then, of course, more recently, Big Boy Breaks by Roy and the Ravers versus Johnny Sniff, which you in particular didn't like.
Don't put this all on me. Don't tell me as if you've been up giving it an extra spin yourself.
Hey, I gave it 0.5. It wasn't actually my lowest rated song.
Well, that is impressive. That is very, very impressive.
Yeah.
But yeah,
any Cue the Laughters that you remember?
Oh, I mean, there's. I always the Christmas Carol one It's just that bit where they talk about Tiny Dennis Taylor.
We did this this year, didn't we? So that wasn't that long ago. I always like the one we did on snooker adverts, where we looked at all of the classic adverts involving snooker players, and Len Ganley was in there as well. Kentucky Fried John Virgo. That was a cracker. Obviously, all of the weird eBay listings. We had the bed sheets, which we now are proud owners of the pillowcases. The Stephen Hendry action figure, which I just stare longingly at on the internet. I did actually message to see whether they would ship it to the UK, and they said they wouldn't. So I think my dream of owning the Stephen Hendry action figure is probably over.
But surely that is where roughly 98% of their market is the UK. It seems like quite a strange thing to have purely as like a Chinese release. I don't know how many people there are desperate for a Stephen Hendry action figure.
Well, even worse, Tom, I think it's somewhere in America. It's in some toy shop in America. So, yeah, going to have to go on a road trip to this shop and buy it in person.
Please, can you? That would be the most hilarious thing we've done on this podcast yet. If Joe goes to America just to buy a Stephen Hendry action figure.
Yeah, well, don't put anything past me, Tom. I wouldn't put anything past you either, to be fair. So,
Imagine if we both went on the same day and there was only one in stock.
Yeah, well, that would be like when we both bought the bed sheets for the matchroom bed sheets for each other. Both having the same ideas. But yeah, I mean, just the community that we've built, I suppose, is also another highlight. People getting in touch with Fanjeng email and coming up with names for segments. I mean, Quiz Wakelin is a stroke of genius. And Bayou LuTube comments is one of the new ones. Leipay fan mail. You've got to put it down. This podcast wouldn't be anything without people listening to it and getting involved every episode, and have been for 100 episodes now. Has anybody listened to them all?
Oh, surely some people must. If I know snooker nerds, and we're both one of them, and there is kind of that kind of collector mentality in your head where, like in the World Championship, especially during the final, I'm like, I have to watch every frame. I have to make sure I watch as much of it as is humanly possible. Like, even if it means that, 1 year I think I missed the evening session on the Sunday live, so I had to catch up on it at like 1 a.m. to watch it all the way through so I could catch up the next day and still watch it live. So I imagine some people must have. Let us know if you've made your own Snooker Loopy Podcast Century. We should we'll get you a prize. You'll win a car or something.
Will it be a nice colour? Because otherwise Ken Doherty might not want to enter.
Yeah, ideally it would be Ken's favourite colour. And then imagine if Ken listened to all 100 episodes.
Wow.
Well, imagine if he listened to any of them. That'd be nice.
I mean, that would be nice if he had listened to them. Who knows? But yeah, let us know some of your great memories of the podcast in the comments. Email us at snookerloopypodcast at gmail.com. I don't know where you want this to go, Tom. Where do you want this podcast to venture out to?
Well, we've got our regular features, Joe. They're all going to be coming into play. Do you want to choose which one we do first?
Shall we get one of our very, very special features out of the way first? Shall we cue the music, Tom?
No, I think this has to headline, because I know what this is. I think this has to be at the end, Joe.
Oh, at the end. Okay. Oh, well, we'll keep people in suspense then.
We've got a very, very exciting cue the music. I'm absolutely pumped for it.
Should we cue the laughter then?
Let's cue the laughter, Joe. And this edition. I mean, I've sent you a link, Joe, and on this link, it's a YouTube channel by someone called Dartwolf.
Okay.
And it feels incredibly relevant for our podcast because all the channel is 20 video messages from Willie Thorne.
Oh my word! I'm going to get this up for people to see themselves because this is just absolute craziness. Yeah, this. I mean, they've just chronicled his life pretty much, haven't they?
Yeah, so I mean, we think that we buy a lot of stuff on Memo, but someone out there bought 20 video messages from Willie Thorne. At least they might have done more. I don't know, but I mean, that is commitment. He's talking about barbecues. He's talking about Karate Kids, chicken. He's talking about George Francis from Robot Wars. Yeah, which one do you want to start with, Joe? I mean, should we watch them in chronological order?
Should we? Yeah. Well, should we start with? Start with the first one.
Happy Willie Thorne here. Long time no see. Some 18 years ago, you came over to my club in Leicester. Hopefully, you're keeping very well. Your good friend Peter Haythornwaite is coming over to see you very soon. He's bringing his Uber with him, and I know he's going to do your guttering for you as well. It's been great to talk to you after such a long time, my friend. Bye for now. Hi, Willie Thorne here, Lincoln Hawk. Congratulations and well done after finally all the travelling. You've got it done in Las Vegas. And your two pals, Gillers and Hose, are doing pretty well as well. Hopefully we'll meet up one day. Congratulations and keep up the good work. Bye for now. Hi, Steve. Hope all is well imbued there. Actually, I've got 3 methods to recommend for blowing up an inflatable mattress without a pump. 1, the spare tyre method. 2, the reverse Hoover method. Or go to the local petrol station or campsite to use the compressor. Hope this helps you, and best of luck. Hi, I've got a nice question here. It's actually from Dartwolf. My friend Jose says, if a robot's run out to play snooker, would one be world champion within the next 10 years? He says only if George Francis from Robot Wars operated it. Well, let me say this. I don't think you could possibly get a robot to... You could get a robot to play individual shots, but they wouldn't have the brain or to think about what positional shots to play. Yes, you could get them to play individual shots, but I don't think you could ever get a robot to become a Ronnie O'Sullivan or a Mark Williams or a John Higgins or a Mark Selby. Bye for now. Hi Steve, Willie Thorne here. Your membership fees are now due, my friend. You owe £1. You can send it by cash or cheque to the committee as soon as possible. Also, would like to pay a big thank you to American Pizzas who have been sponsoring the event for many, many years. That's American Pizzas in Loughborough. See you soon, guys. Bye for now. Hi guys. Well, you've asked me a question there. I suppose really, apart from the 147 breaks, it's probably a match I lost really when I led Davis 13-8 in the final of the UK Championship at the Guildhall at Preston and missed the easiest blue you've ever seen in your life. I'm sure all of you would have potted it, and went on to lose that match 16-14. That was probably the highlight really, when I was probably one of the best players in the world at that particular time, and that knocked me back quite a bit. But obviously winning my first tournament, the Mercantile Credit Classic, was one thing that springs to mind. I won 14 tournaments around the world. Perhaps should have won a lot more. Apart from my gambling caused me a few problems. Have a good day. Bye for now. Hi there, Steve. Willie Thorne here. I'm just out in the garden with the dogs at the minute. I understand I met your son Luke some time ago when he played at my brother's club in Colville. Hope you're all well. And a big thank you to Gillers as well, who's also a fan of mine. Bye for now. Hi Luke, Willie Thorne here. Many thanks for your support over the years. Just for the record, I have made 198 147s and obviously retired before. Had the chance to make 200. I understand your father Steve is a big fan as well, so hopefully you'll both be watching the snooker from now on, and hopefully I'll be commentating on it. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Hi there, many congratulations to Daniel Horacio for winning the All Valley Championship against Cobra Kai. It was a well-deserved success, and great to hear that you used Carter and the Crane in the final against Johnny. Keep up the good work and pass on my best regards to RG. All the best, my friends. Bye for now. Hi, good morning, everybody. I'd just like to tell you there's only one way to cook bacon. That's the hot rod method of cooking bacon. It works every time. It's perfect. Thanks to our friends Iffy, Welsh Tom and Andrish Mulkai, all for their support. And P.S. the Unicorn 2-for-1 on Thursday is the way forward. Hi there, Willie Thorne here. Many congratulations, Daniel LaRusso, on winning your tournament for the second time. An amazing achievement, defending your All Valley Championship. I understand it was a really tough tie against bad boy Mike Barnes and his partner Cobra Kai. but you came through the final with Carter with flying colours. We must also thank Mr. Media G. All the best now. Bye for now. Hi there, Willie Thorne here. I understand your friend Dartwolf says there are not enough snookers in snooker anymore, and the rules should be changed to make a failed snooker attempt loss of frame. He says his mate Matt Attack would then be world champion without doubt, as he sets the best snookers ever. I've got to be perfectly honest, I think that's too much of a penalty really, just to miss a snooker and expect that to happen. So I don't think that'll come into fruition, but obviously Matt Attack will have to keep being a grinder and a good safety player. Well, message for Libs members, it's bad news, I'm afraid. Sue Cook has pulled out at the last minute. She confirmed multiple times that she was going to represent us, but Sue Cook has done it again, I'm afraid, and pulled out. Unbelievable. However, don't worry, good news, Pat Sharp has confirmed he's definitely in. Well, I'm sitting in my car and I've been had to read out this question. If all the greatest snooker players in the world all were playing at their very, very best, who would win? Dartwolf amazingly thinks that Parrott or John Vargo would win. Well, I've got more chance of winning than them two, to be perfectly honest. I think we all know Ronnie O'Sullivan's the greatest of all time. I think Stephen Hendry would possibly win if they're all at the best, but it all depends whether they're all at the best. But for me, it's a toss-up between Ronnie O'Sullivan and Stephen Hendry. Vargo or Parrott? I don't think so. Well, this is from all the members of the IWDF. Thank you so much, US Chicken in Loughborough, for your support over the last few years, and they make the best chicken in the UK. And undoubtedly their number 5 is magnificent, especially when they include extra wongs. Enjoy them.
Hello, I'm Willie Thorne and welcome to Leemore Windows and Conservatories website. Please check out our web pages where you'll find a selection of some of the windows, conservatories, doors, porches and much, much more. Leemore Windows is an established company with many years' experience in both manufacturing and supplying home improvement needs. When you decide to improve the look of your home, talk to them. You'll be getting expert advice and a guaranteed service, so please give them a call or visit their extensive showroom. Choose us. It's a decision you won't regret.
Hi, my friend Dartwolf's asking me another question. The question is, do I believe in ghosts? Well, his friend Hot Rod was playing in a snooker tournament a few months ago at 3 in the morning, and he looked over in the corner and definitely thought he saw a ghost potting a red and getting nicely on the black. In my humble opinion, I think he may have had a few drinks, to be perfectly honest. As far as I'm concerned, I don't believe in ghosts. Do you? Hi, my friend Dartwolf sent me another interesting question. He's asking about what is the greatest shot ever played in snooker. Well, his friend Hose, amazingly enough, thinks it's one of John Virgo's trick shots played on Big Break many years ago. That's clearly not the case. I think one of the best shots ever played was Dennis Taylor's final black. I know it was an easy black, but it was to win the World Championship for the first time in front of 18.5 million viewers. Hi, my friend Dartwolf sent me another very good question, actually. He's asking me who I think will win the World Cup. I think if Neymar stays fit throughout the 17 days or whatever it is at the World Cup, I think Brazil would probably win. Also, I think England are going to do better than most people think if Harry Kane stays fit, and if not, Vardy can come on, the Leicester man, and do lots of serious damage. Also, he's asking me whether I'm going to do a few barbecues with the weather as it is. I'm sure there'll be a few World Cup barbecues I'll be attending, and hopefully his friend Rod will do a few as well. His dad's not a big fan of barbecues, though. But will England do well? Let's hope so. Hi, my friend Dartwolf's back on the line. I hope you're well, my friend, and you're asking me about the World Cup. It's absolutely amazing, isn't it? And of course, now we've got every chance. I think Sweden have played very ordinary in the last few games, and of course we've got those on Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. I'll certainly be watching that, and I think the World Cup has been great. I think, in fairness, the only two that can beat us at the moment are France and Brazil. So let's hope that England can play well. I've had plenty of barbecues. I've had an open-air event at my house on the last match, which is absolutely superb. So all the best, England. Let's hope they win, Dolphin. Bye-bye.
Well, Tom, I mean, that was a very interesting experience. Dartwolf is clearly a massive Willie Thorne fan. And I think, reading between the lines, I think a lot of them are questions he's asked, maybe on Twitter, and then surely he hasn't paid for all of those to be there. Although Willie Thorne did remind somebody to pay their £1 membership, didn't he? He seemed pretty irate about that.
You seemed furious. I have no idea. I presume these videos could be a kind of similar memo or cameo thing, but I mean, if they are, this guy's probably spent about 500 quid on Willie Thorne alone, which is astonishing. I mean, we found out that he thinks a robot wouldn't win the Snooker World Championship, which, I mean, what do you think about that, Joe?
Well, having seen some robots play snooker, and I don't think it's there yet, but I don't really see why not in the future. What about you?
I think unless it's a robot that has Willie Thorne's head, I think then it would have a chance. If it had his shiny head and his moustache, I think then it might do it. But also he's a big promoter of Windows, Willie Thorne. I didn't know he was such an expert.
Yeah, and some weird chicken takeaway shops. You know, that we had a big thank you to American Pizza and American Chicken, and I mean, who knows where all of these are from? Hopefully, Dartwolf will be watching somewhere out there to explain all of this to us. I mean, what we did find particularly impressive was his predictions of the 2018 World Cup. He said he thought England would do better than most people thought. And we got to the semi-final, and I think Harry Kane won the Golden Boot that year, if I remember correctly.
He did. So there we go. Dartwolf's videos of Willie Thorne clearly ahead of their time, and I think that means that we can trust.
Never mind Paul the Octopus. It's Willie Thorne. That's the grand predictor.
Oh, I'd love to see Willie Thorne dressed up as an octopus.
I don't think that's going to happen now, Tom. Although I can imagine a certain somebody from Middlesbrough will probably try to mock that up using ChatGPT. So, you know.
His history, do you know what I mean? There's some really odd snooker stuff there. Like,
I don't think there's only odd snooker stuff on there, Tom, to be quite honest.
That's very true. That's very true. Did you enjoy this little delve into Willie Thorne?
Oh, it was brilliant, and it made me think that maybe in many, many years, 40 years from now, somebody will be doing some sort of podcast and find all of our memos of snooker players singing Snooker Loopy.
No, I would love that. That would be hilarious if they did.
How you find these things, Tom, beats me. But yeah, let us know your top 3 favourite Willie Thorne clips down below in the comments.
If any of you manage to get through all of them. I mean, they're very short. So if they have paid for them, then Willie's doing very well for himself. Well, he was anyway. Like
Willie was doing very well for himself. Yeah, he was indeed. Yeah. Okay, shall we quiz Wakelin, Tom?
Yeah, let's quiz Wakelin.
Ooh, the episode 100 special. So, Quiz Wakelin, of course. Last couple of episodes has gone a bit crazy. I did potluck and got the first century break of the series, 101 break there. It was 101 clearance. Tom then got 57 on his knowledge of world finals in episode 99. So, Tom is going to be quizzing me. And what's he going to quiz us on? Let's find out.
Well, Joe, this isn't. It's not the official World Snooker Tour book.
Ooh.
What I've got for you, Joe, I'm just going to find out what year this book's from. Oh, this is from year 2000, Joe. This is
dear.
Sporting Questions, Parrot Fashion.
Sporting Questions, Parrot Fashion. Well, thank you, Tom.
Interestingly, Joe, I said year 2000 this was, and look how the scoring is done.
Hey, so we know where Dave Hendon stole that from.
It's the same format. There's reds, there's yellows, there's greens, there's blues, and all the other colours. But interestingly, Joe, there's questions about different topics. There's football, snooker, general, football, general, snooker. There's cricket, athletics, motor racing, rugby union, rugby league. There's all sorts of different horse racing. So,
oh dear. And do I just get a random assortment of these?
well, do you want to just do them in order? Or do you want
can we rule out rugby? I'm fine answering things as long as it's not rugby. But
okay.
You decide, Tom. So the way it'll work, we'll go in sequence: red colour, and I get 3 lives, I suppose, and we will see what happens. But I'll leave it up to Tom to pick the questions because I don't have a copy of this book yet, so I can't quiz Tom on it. So he can just pick the questions that he wants to answer.
Was about £3 on eBay, and it's worth it for that picture of JP alone, I think.
Dear me, Hazel. Right. Okay. Let's give it a go then, Tom.
It describes him as a question of sports popular team captain, as if he's the only popular team captain.
Well, he did it with Ali back in the day, didn't he? Ali McCoist. So.
Okay, Joe. So your first red. I'm going to go with the very first question on football. Which club was defeated in both FA Cup and League Cup finals in 1997?
Oh, for God's sake. In the League Cup and FA Cup. It might be the Toon, but I feel like they lost in the FA Cup final around that time, but I don't know about the League Cup. Let's go Arsenal.
Oh, he's missed the red, and I tell you, he won't be happy. Matt from Borough. It was Middlesbrough.
Oh, well, there you go.
Let's. I
need to get at least 2 to beat Tom's worst performance on Name the Year. So,
well, question 2, Joe, seems a little bit easier for you.
Okay.
In which city did John Higgins win his first world title?
Sheffield.
Correct. Yes.
Hey, 1.
Right. Now I have to go all the way. The only thing with this book, right, is that literally it's got the reds, and then you just have pages and pages of reds until you get to the yellow. There seems to be roughly 300 questions for each colour. I mean, that's impressive.
Well, when we run out of questions out of the World Snooker tour book, we can do it from that. Here we go. Let's go for a blue. Why not?
Blue. Okay. Right. Blue. And do you want to choose a certain sport, or are you happy just?
Well, what? Give me 3 options of sports I can go for.
Okay, what about this? Just to make it a bit different for this one, we'll do football, cricket, and is there any snooker blues? There must be, or snooker.
Ooh, it's quite tempting to go for the snooker, but equally, it's
the purists would go for the snooker, Joe. But
let's go for snooker then. Let's keep people happy.
Silvino Francisco won the 1985 British Open, but what is his nationality?
I think he's Argentinian.
Oh, I don't think that's right. I think he's.
Oh, is it South Africa?
I think he's South African, but we'll see.
Oh no,
he's South African. He's missed it. He's missed it. It's a Willie Thorne blue. He's missed it. He's missed a Willie Thorne blue.
Boo.
Okay, back to reds, Joe. And I'll give you snooker, motor racing, or athletics.
Oh God, let's go motor racing. Why not?
Which, and we should say, if people don't know, Joe's a massive Formula One fan. He's a big fan, So no pressure, Joe. But
yeah, but he also wasn't watching it in 2000, Tom. So
well, you're currently playing in the 1999 season on a Formula One video game. So hopefully this will help you with this question, Joe. Which circuit staged the 2000 British Grand Prix?
Well, that would be Silverstone.
That would be correct. Silverstone. There we go.
Hey, 2.
Which colour are you going for next?
Oh, God. Let's go brown. Brown's been pretty good to me.
Do you know what? I bought this book and I had no idea it'd be the same as the new one in terms of just the snooker scoring. So, okay, let's go again. Snooker, horse racing, or tennis.
Oh, now then. I want to know if there's an updated version of this book. I'd love to. I'd love to answer questions. I'd love to answer questions about tennis now. No, I'll have to go snooker, Tom. I'll have to go snooker.
I bet he insisted on having this question in. This question: which player did John Parrott defeat to win his world title in 1991?
Oh, Jimmy White.
That is. I don't even have to check the score, but I just want to. It just feels like it's the right thing to do is to keep actually checking the scores. Is He
means the answers, not the scores, but
that is what I mean. Hold on. Which colour did you choose?
Brown.
Brown.
Okay,
and which number was it?
Oh God! See, this is what you get when you don't have John Parrott reading this book.
Look, there's literally 70 greens, 60 browns. Why is it different? Anyway, Jimmy White was correct, yes.
Thank you, 6. Right, back to the Reds.
How does this make any sense? I mean, I don't want to be, I know it's a bit pointless slagging off a book that's 25 years old, but there's 300 reds, which that does make sense. 70 yellows, 70 greens, 60 browns, 60 blues, 50 pinks, and then 48 blacks. Where's the 48 come from?
Oh. Wow.
All right, so you're back on reds, Joe? Okay, let's go. Well, let's just go snooker, football, or athletics.
He keeps trying to ask me an athletics question. No, I'm sticking with snooker. I'm going to stick with a home question here.
Which multi-world champion is nicknamed the Nugget and comes from Romford?
Brilliant. Steve Davis. There we go.
It's very interesting, Steve Davis. There we go. So what's that you're
7.
on now? You're on 7. What colour would you
let's
like?
go for a black. Let's be bold.
Okay. Golf, snooker, or horse racing?
Oh, God. Snooker, Tom.
Oh, I thought he was going to go for horse racing. I really did. Right. Who was the first Englishman to win the world title at the Crucible?
Oh, interesting question. I think John Spencer was English, but I don't actually know that for certain. Let's run through the other. Yeah, Steve Davis would be the next one after that, but we'll go John Spencer.
Oh, it's right in the heart of the pocket. I mean, to be fair, that pocket for that black, it was like a World Seniors pocket. It was much bigger than standard tables, so.
14.
Okay, let's go snooker, football, athletics.
Go on then, let's get an athletics question. Why not?
Okay. And I'm being kind. I'm asking you the first athletics question, so I presume it's the easiest one. In which event did Linford Christie win an Olympic gold medal?
I believe that was the men's 100 metres.
Yes, it's the 100 metres. There we go, Joe.
There we go. 15. Let's go for a pink.
Okay. Football, snooker, or general sport?
Oh, let's go general sport. Why not? Why not?
Are you sure?
No, let's go snooker. After you've said that. Go on, what would have been the question?
Hey, what, for fun, we may as well do general sport because we've got 60 pinks to choose from. I don't think we're going to get through them all at any point. So, general sport was what disappeared from Westminster Hall in 1966?
Oh, I think that's the World Cup trophy. That England one.
I believe it is. And wasn't it found by a dog called Pickles or something like that?
It was, but then I think it was stolen again. I think it's lost forever now.
Well,
The Jules Rimet trophy or whatever.
Well, it was that, Joe, but sadly you didn't play it because you played.
Oh, how rude!
No, you have got that, but we may as well ask the. Do you want to ask the snooker question as well? Or?
Let's do the snooker question. Yeah.
Just because I like the fact it's this question. Which ranking title did John Parrott win in Deauville in 1989 and Lyon in 1990?
I'm glad I didn't actually go for this one in the end, Tom. In Lyon, oh dear, ranking trophy.
Lyon and Deauville, I presume I'm saying that right.
I mean, I'm thinking the French Masters or something like that, but I don't actually know. Or is it the Paris Masters? Something like that. I don't know. Well, it can't be the Paris Masters if who's played in Lyon. Let's go the French Masters.
The European Open, Joe.
But
I think we'll give you that pink because you did get the World Cup. We'll give you that anyway. To be fair.
All right. 21 then. 21.
Okay.
Back to the Reds.
General, or snooker?
Let's go for the middle general.
How many people are there in an American football team?
Oh, for God's sake. I have no idea. 7?
It's 11.
Well, there you go. I break down on 21.
Very, very good, though. I'm especially considering it is his 25-year-old knowledge, a lot of this. Or even older. There's got questions about the 1960s on the back, which,
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll take that, definitely.
Literally, the questions on the back are about 1965, 1962, and 1964. If you would choose 3 questions, wouldn't you put some variety in there and not just have 3 all from the 60s? But
clearly John Parrott likes his 60s stuff, doesn't he? But that puts me up into 9th position out of 17. So I'll take that. Tom. Thank you for that. That's a great book. So yeah, I think we should do some more from that in the future.
We'll get you a copy as well at some point. I'll just read a bit of the foreword, which was by John Parrott. Hello, and welcome to a sports quiz with a difference. You'll need a pen and paper for some questions. You can pit yourself against others in a snooker-style competition, and you'll keep sports enthusiasts busy with the multiple queries. As a 7-year-old, my school report remarked, John would be far better served by reading a far better variety of books than the sports books he keeps his head buried in.
Wow.
Fair comment, but being a Merseysider, my head has always been full of sporting trivia, as you've witnessed on A Question of Sport. I even get some right. Lovely stuff.
Love it. Well, thanks for that, Tom. And let us know what break you would have got down below in the comments as well. And don't cheat. Don't cheat. But anyway, shall we get on to the main event, Tom, as you've been building it up as? Cue the music.
I'm so excited by this, Joe. I am so pumped. This is I'm going to say it. I think this could be a hit, a top 10 hit, possibly.
Well, yeah. So I've been stitched up here, by the way, everybody, because before we recorded this episode, basically at the end of episode 99, we sat down and we said, what do you want to do for episode 100? And I said, well, we should have a full suite of all of our different features. What we're going to do for Cue the Music? I said, we could revisit Wallop. And Tom was like, nah. And then he suggested that we both record Snooker Loopy ourselves and put ourselves out into the world. And anyway, I turned up today saying, oh, I've done mine, Tom. It's not exactly how I want it, but I've done it. And Tom says, oh, mine's not finished yet. So so we're here. This is going to be my version of Snooker Loopy. And at some point in the future, depending on how this goes, I assume we'll hear Tom's version as well.
My version is just busy with the producer. We're just mixing and mastering it, mate. We're just we've been in the studio late at night, laying it down, and we're just putting the last few finishing touches.
Whereas mine was recorded in 30 seconds, and I threw together some other things on top of it to appease you, Tom. But I've sent it over to you. Shall we give it a little whirl?
I'm so excited. This is Joe Hannard with Snooker Loopy. Who'd have thought 100 episodes ago? It's all been building up to this for me. It's all been building up to Joe singing Snooker Loopy in many ways.
Well, here we go, Tom. So, Snooker Loopy by Joe Hannard, apparently. I'd never heard of him. But should we give it a whirl, Tom?
Hang on. I could absolutely murder a cucumber sandwich about now, topped off with plenty of salad cream.
Snooker Loopy nuts are we, Chris Wakelin and Fan Jingyi, Lei Pei Fan and Bayou Lu, David Lilly and Marco Fu, Pot the Reds and Screw back for the yellow, green, brown, blue, pink and black. Snooker Loopy nuts are we, we're all Snooker Loopy. Hazel.
Well, never mind. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Ooh. Mmm.
Well, there you go, Tom. That was especially for you, as Jason Donovan would say.
Oh, I'm going to listen to it again. I'm going to do it again. Oh, it's so good. Plenty of salad cream. How long did it take you to write this?
It took me about 2 or 3 minutes, if that. Like, it was, yeah.
You're a lyrical genius, Joe. It's got David Lilly, Bayou Lu.
It was working out how to get the David Lilly to work. Like, you had to say it in a very particular way, because if you go David Lilly, it doesn't work. You have to go David, what was it? David Lilly and Marco Fu. You had to, yeah. There you go, Tom. There you go. And I thought I'd throw in some JV and Dennis in there as well. And I had to have Hazel in there. But there you go. There you go. That's my version of Snooker Loopy.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I mean, I don't think I can top that, Joe.
I highly doubt that, Tom.
That was incredible. That is amazing work, and I think we should get it on Spotify.
That's not going to happen, Tom. That is not going to happen.
If you want it on Spotify,
I mean, it is going to be on Spotify anyway, because
true.
Tom's going to put it on in a matter of hours as we're recording this. So, but there you go. if you guys want to have a go, you know where to send it. That is Snooker Loopy by Joe Hannard. So I'm not going to rate it, Tom, because that would be rude. So you get the honours of giving it its average score.
I mean, surely it has to be a 10, Joe.
Oh, well, there you go. I'll take it.
What else could it be? It was incredible.
Yes.
Banksy, can you do a whole album of remixes of that song, please?
Well, that puts me into number 7 on the leaderboard, or equal first, with The Matchroom Mob, Sean Murphy, Chris Reed, King of the Crucible by DJ Banksy himself, Everlasting Love, Joe Johnson, and King of the Crucible featuring MC Rob Walker by DJ Titanium Feral. Suspiciously similar song to DJ Banksy's version. But there you go, episode 100, Tom. That was the... That was apparently the big build-up to it all.
I'm going to listen to that so many times. Literally, I think at least 147 times.
Oh, well, maybe not. Maybe a 153, Tom, if you're lucky.
Oh, it was so good.
I'm glad you think so. Let us know what you think in the comments.
I think the listeners would have loved it, mate. I genuinely think that they'll say that's one of the highlights of this feature. Hang on. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Rome wasn't built in a day. Should we finish off with some Fanjing email? Because we did have quite a bit, didn't we? And we thought we'd leave it to now to do it. I don't know if there's been any Bayou YouTube comments, but Tom can probably have a look at that while I'm reading some out. But let's start off then with our good friend Matt from Middlesbrough, who says, good evening, Hazel. Good evening, Seema. A very good evening to Vicky. As the semi-finals begin, I've noticed some crazy things at the Crucible. One of the very few features they've put on this year has been world champions reminiscing on their championship wins, which I found lovely. And we have uploaded those to the channel as well, called My World Championship. However, one thing that must have vanished from my memory was when Stuart Bingham won the World Championship wearing the most beautiful silky red lipstick. Maybe it was so he could properly lay one on the trophy when he kissed it. Who knows? I can only imagine Stuart Bingham laid bare in one of his hot tubs with that lovely red lipstick on. Maybe that's given me an idea. Oh dear. That's not what we want to hear from Matt, to be fair.
No.
I'm just gonna get up the picture for the viewers at home, and I'm also gonna send it to Tom, so Tom can see this. But this was an actual picture, and there he is, Big Bingham.
What? No, that's not real.
That is real.
What? It looks like a vampire or something. Oof. Well,
there you go. Thanks for that, Matt. That was the response of Tom there. We also got another one from Matt, as you can imagine. And this one's called The Magic Wand. And one more thing, Hazel. So the subject of my last email isn't confusing. I forgot to add one more thing. I found Sean Murphy's performance in the semi-final so far a little underwhelming. Maybe he peaked too early. Or maybe, as you mentioned, he needs to whip out his massive magic wand and cast a spell on John Higgins. But as you say, you'll have to be very careful with that magic wand, especially with how John loves to come from behind in matches. Aren't we in for an intriguing semi-final, Hazel? So, again, I'm going to show the viewers at home this image, and I'll send it to Tom, and he can have a little look at Sean Murphy's magic wand.
No. No, I don't like this, Joe. Oh, God.
Well, thanks for that, Matt. There's Tom's verdict for you. We've also heard from good podcast friend Archie Smith, who has got in touch saying, "Dear both, hope you're well. I watched last night's stream while in the backseat of a car with my family from where I live down south near Portsmouth, driving all the way up to near Birmingham in the West Midlands, driving across the country whilst dual screening the footage and podcast and having to deal with some technical difficulties. It was chaotic, but terrific at the same time. Conveniently, the session took about the same time it took us to drive up. What usually is a long journey went by very quickly. Mark and Woo have had 2 Crucible firsts now. The power cut and the longest frame ever in Crucible history. Yeah, they did, didn't they? It was that was pretty crazy. I can't remember if we talked about the power cut now. It was quite incredible.
We did, because they replaced it with that TV show about
oh yeah, the Sheeps, yeah,
the Sheep Show, yeah, which was my highlight of the championship.
It was quite incredible because during that frame, parts of the crowd were turning into shootout mode with all the business when the cue ball reached the Reds, and then the clapping when Marcel trying to calm them down, and then giving up in telling them to shut their cake hole in a polite manner. It was absolutely ridiculous. Then the power cut, which you thought after that couldn't get crazier, but it did. And I know the cause of the failure, it was the making of the new feature film, Ander. They needed to film a scene that satisfied Matt's poster, more like a James Bond film than the snooker one. So lots of pyrotechnics were used. This is what John Higgins does between sessions. Matt's got the poster now. What's needed is an album. I know Joe is a little Bond fan. So why not give the main theme called Snooker Ball in reference to Thunderball by the greatest male singer ever, Tom Jones? Well, there you go. Perhaps a duet between Tom and Dominic Dale. I mean, he did the Green Grass of Home at the shootout, an interesting song to sing at a hypermaniac event full of drunkards, considering its message. So he has a bit of Tom in him, and it would show if he's really Welsh, pairing him up against a Welsh singer. Tom loves the snooker, and Delilah's Mark Williams' walk-on song, always an excuse for me to get him relevant to snooker. Thank you, Hazel, from Ding John Ware. So thank you, Archie. We've also had an email from Jamie Hopkins, who says, "Hi, Joe and Tom. Just wanted to say a massive thank you for the podcasts. I've been really enjoying them throughout the World Championship, and they really add to the whole experience." Thank you very much for that. I've been a viewer on and off the past while, but something has felt more special about it this year, so we'll follow more. I've enjoyed Captain Goodspeed's gaming content, but unfortunately I've never been blessed to witness Tom's comedy, but maybe I should start taking a look at that. Keep up the good work, lads, and thanks again for the upload of the commentator's classic shots recreated. Lost count how many times I've watched that. Is there any other features like that you can upload and share? Well, we definitely plan to find them and upload them as and when we find them. He was looking forward to the final. For what it's worth, he'll stick his predictions there. Note this was sent after the Smurf 360 beats Slimeball Higgins. Well, there you go. Murphy 1813 Woo, Murphy 1815 Alan. Thanks again for all the content and the laugh. Sorry, Jamie, you were wrong, but thank you for your email. We've got an essay from Fionn Lynch. So hold on to your hats, everybody. He did say he was reading this or writing this while we were streaming or doing the live watch along, weren't we, of John Higgins versus Sean Murphy. So here it goes, Tom. So, hey lads, how are you? It is I, Fionn, finally emailing you once again after God knows how long. I went to my first ever live professional snooker this week at the Crucible, and what a magical place it is. If you'll indulge me, I'd like to tell you all about it. So here we go. Settle in. This is story time with Fionn. We were going over from Ireland last Wednesday as we had tickets for all day on that funky Thursday with the first and second rounds both on. My mother had bought them for me as a birthday present last May. We left home at 8 a.m. and didn't arrive in Sheffield until 9:30 p.m. I didn't realise Ireland was that far away. We flew from our local airport to Dublin Airport and then had 4 hours to hang around at the terminal for our connection to Manchester. When we arrived in Manchester, all of the trains had been cancelled because of something to do with the overhead power lines. Well, power cut on the way for Fionn. So we had to get the tram into Manchester. From when we got on the tram until almost the time we got off, there was a 14-year-old boy standing at the front, vaping, shouting in excruciating detail about their romantic lives, shall we say, and generally being a nuisance. I must say it was a terrible tram ride. When we finally got off and went to the train station, all of the trains here were massively delayed due to the fault, so we were 45 minutes late setting off from Manchester to Sheffield. On the way, we passed through a Hazel Grove station. Is that the Hazel Grove? It is indeed. Or are there multiple of them up north? No, it is Hazel Grove. You will have been about 10 minutes from me when you were on that train, Fionn. So there you go. When we arrived in Sheffield, we checked into the hotel and went for a walk around the surprisingly empty streets as far as the Theatre of Dreams. It was incredible to see it in the flesh for the first time. We then ended up having a conversation with one of the security guards who was absolutely lovely. She was telling us the do's and don'ts for our visit and giving us times to arrive. We then had a pint and went to bed. The next day, we woke up, went for some breakfast, and then straight to the Winter Gardens, where I got a chance to play a few shots on the professional snooker table. I've attached a video of me playing. I didn't realise until after playing, but standing behind me in the line was referee Julian Bell, and he was walking around with Ben Williams. Well, there you go. I got a picture with them both afterwards. We then went to the stage door where I met Marcel Urquhart and Peggy Lee, as well as Mark Allen. I then went inside and saw all of the cool stuff that Joe had already mentioned, so I won't prolong this incredibly long email by listing it out. One thing that did strike me, though, was how rude John Pellew was. Oh, right, okay. He was doing security and stood in front of somebody when they were taking photos of the World Trophy, saying, "You've got your pictures now, move along," as if this guy hadn't been taking pictures for about 10 seconds maximum. Oh, wow. Okay. Inside the arena was magical. I got to see the opening session of Murphy versus Gudong. Although it was very much one-sided, it was a high quality from Sean, so I didn't mind. I did, however, have a run-in with the security during the match. I had been wearing a football jersey underneath my jumper, and after the second frame I decided to take the jumper off. I was then promptly met by a security guard walking up the stairs shouting, "Is that a football jersey? Cover it up." My heart skipped a beat as this happened, as I was sure his tone meant he was going to kick me out. I was genuinely taken aback. I had no idea this was a thing. I had bought myself a t-shirt from the WST shop in the Crucible lobby, so at the interval I threw it on. Yeah, that's been a thing for a few years, hasn't it, Tom, where they've banned football shirts at the Crucible?
Quite a controversial thing, really, because there was a fan who famously would sit in the front row wearing the same football shirt year on, year out, and was like a bit of a Crucible character for that reason, like the guy in the football shirt. And then they said they were going to ban them because basically they thought they didn't look, they didn't give off the right impression. And then loads of people were saying, but it's supposed to be a working class sport. How can you ban football shirts? All these kind of things. So, I don't really like the fact they've banned them, so I'm very upset to hear that Fionn was attacked for that reason. I mean, maybe we should make a custom football shirt that's got Dominic Dale on it instead, and maybe they'd be okay. If it was Dominic Dale instead of a football badge on the chest, maybe they'd be all right with that.
Well, maybe, Tom. Who knows? If it had "Good Evening Hazel" on it, maybe. Anyway, let's keep going. So. After the session, his mum commented on how there were a fair few empty seats, and I told her that people sometimes return them as they go on sale an entire year before the event. This nugget of information made her decide to go to the box office to see if there were any tickets for the next day's play, and there was in the morning, so she bought 2 of them.
Oh, what a lovely mum.
This very much surprised me, as mum isn't really a huge fan of snooker. She was just there with me, but I wasn't complaining. For our second session, we saw the concluding session of Neil Robertson versus Pang Jung-soo. for some reason, before this session, I was a bit nervous. I couldn't tell you why, I just was. This was not helped by the fact that once play started, the phone of the man directly behind me went off twice, and both times it felt like Neil was giving me daggers. I didn't really calm down until after the interval, and the snooker was kind of crap, so I didn't really enjoy the first part session. Neil really kicked on after the interval, and played some good stuff, so the second half was back to being amazing. We also got to see one frame from the match between Allen and Wilson, which from what I've heard seemed to be the only good one. Once the session finished, I ran straight for the stage door. On my way, I met the Lincolnshire sausage and got a photo with him. He looked in a rush, presumably to do the World Snooker Podcast, so I left him alone. When I got there, I met Mark Allen again, and for some reason asked him for another photo, so now I have two. I also met Kyron Wilson, who've just come off a stinking session where he just bit his tip off, so I decided that trying to spark a conversation may be a bad idea. We then waited ages for Neil Robertson to come out, but in the meantime, I seemed to be the only one out of the 25-ish people that noticed that Tatiana and Ben Wollaston came out and started walking up the street, so I chased after them for a pic too. Finally, Neil came out. He was chatting with the people next to me, so when I flagged him down, I tried to say, well done, good luck in the next game, but when he was standing there looking at me, half of the sentence didn't come out in English. Afterwards, we went to Box, a pub where Midnight had a space sectioned off with a snooker table in it. I didn't get a chance to play as we turned up very close to closing time, but people with tickets got a free pint. Yes, I think I talked about that in the about my experience. The next morning we got up and had to almost go straight to the Crucible. We made a quick stop off at Greg's. Don't get the chicken roll, apparently, and went straight into the arena. That morning, I think I had the best seat in the house. We had seats right down the middle so we could see both tables. I've attached a picture of my vantage point. I was mostly focused on my second session of Murphy versus Gudong, but Hawkins versus Williams was also on. It was so cool being able to see both at once. Before the match, Rob Walker told us a bizarre story where he was backstage doing a piece to camera live on the BBC, and Mark Williams started tapping Rob's balls with his cue. Yeah, those balls, not his signed Bingham ones. Wow. Apparently, Rob had no idea what was happening until after, because he had to keep looking down at the lens of the camera. He just felt something messing with his manhood. Sean won the match while I was there with a session to spare. I knew it was possible before we went in, but didn't say it out loud because I wanted to see the conclusion while I was there and didn't want to jinx it. To be honest, I didn't really care about the quality of the snooker. I just wanted to say I'd been to an entire match at the Crucible. We then saw one frame of the other match with the wall up. After the session finished, I ran for the stage door again. I met a woman out there who I'd spoken to at the stage door the night before and spent over an hour and 20 minutes out there getting photos and talking snooker with her. Barry Hawkins came out and blanked us all, making a beeline for his car, which wasn't there. He then came back and took a few photos before going back inside. Shortly after, a blacked out Mercedes van pulled up with none other than Ronnie O'Sullivan. He successfully blanked us and went straight inside. I saw Zintong and got pictures with Rob Spencer, Sean Murphy, Peter Ebden, BBC reporter Shabnam, Gudong, Jimmy White, Hossein Vafai, and Ding. TNT Sports was there when Ding arrived, so they were asking the crowd who they thought was going to win Zintong versus Ding match. They used a video of me getting my picture with Ding in their build-up. I have attached this also. Two of the players who stood out to me in particular from standing there were Zhao Gudong and Hossein Vafai. Gudong had lost heavily, gone back to his hotel room and later come back just to take pictures with the fans. He didn't actually go inside when he returned. He just came down to show his appreciation for the fans. The other is Hossein. He was standing up the street having a conversation with a couple of lads. I ran up to get a photo with him and he was really lovely. I was expecting him to be in a rush like everyone else, but actually spent at least 10 minutes talking to these lads. Both of them were very humble. The main reason I had spent so long at the back of the stage door was really because I wanted to get a picture with Mark Williams. Turns out he'd actually just walked out the front door past all of the punters because I met him in the Winter Gardens just strolling around with his family. He was wearing a t-shirt with Stephen Hendry on it. Hendry was smoking a cigar and holding up the middle finger. What a peculiar guy, but I guess that's why we love him. That pretty much concluded our trip. We watched snooker in Tudor Square for about 30 minutes after that, and then got the train to Manchester. We then stayed the night in Manchester and flew home the next day. I apologise profusely for the length of this email, but I appreciate you taking the time to read it. I felt so bad about it that I asked about it in your live stream. If you minded it being so long, I found the whole experience so amazing. One more thing at the end, I came up with a name for the YouTube comments so they differ from Fanjing email. You could call it Bayou YouTube comments. Just a thought. I hope you boys enjoy the World Champs final. I'm going for Murphy W. All the best. Dominic Dale's #1 fan, Fionn Lynch. So there you go. Thank you very much for that, Fionn.
Fionn, that was lovely. And don't worry about it being long, because we could feel your excitement. We could feel how much you had such a lovely time. And I think that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's sharing that excitement and joy with other snooker fans. And I mean, I'm so pleased you got so many photos with different people, especially getting more than one with Mark Allen. I like the idea of you bumping into him 10 times and always asking for a different photo.
Yeah, I do love that. I have forwarded it on to Tom as well, so he can hopefully see it. And we're going to have a little flick through all of the attachments on, so people can see them. So here we go. There's a picture here with Ben Williams. So I'm assuming that's Fionn with the camera at the front there. Nice to put a face to a name as well. Haven't done that. We've got one of you with Marcel Urquhart here. Picture 1 with Mark Allen. There's Peggy Lee, Hossein. Can't watch the video on. Oh, there's a video here. Let's have a look.
Bringing it to you.
Oh, this is the TNT one, I think.
Players arriving.
So let's see.
Ahead of another big afternoon here.
This is on TNT Sports 1.
Let's see when he takes on this.
Oh, there you go.
The action.
He's in the background getting a picture with Ding.
Who knew that Fionn would be a TV star so quickly?
Oh,
Off the back of this podcast, I'd like to think.
I know. We got the Lincolnshire sausage there. Got Mark Allen V2. Kyron Wilson. Tatiana there. Ben. Neil Robertson looking very happy with himself there. A great vantage point. That's pretty much where we sit every year, actually. In the middle. Big Baz Hawkins. Got Rob Spencer, Sean Murphy, Peter Ebden, Ding Junwei, Shabnam.
I love these.
Zhao Gudong, Jimmy White.
Jimmy does not. Yeah, okay,
He doesn't look good, does he?
No.
And then we got Mark Williams, and then Stephen on his shirt there. Oh, that's lovely, Fionn.
That's
Thank
lovely
you very
one
much.
of you and Mark Williams. That's really sweet.
You
should see if Mark Williams will tag himself in it on Facebook.
Yeah, we can't open the attachment of the video from the email, but I have downloaded it, so I'll put it over this part of the video for people to watch him do his snooker.
Oh, nicely played, mate. Well done. Yep, that's good. Well done, Fionn. So the clock starts on your next shot, Fionn. You'll then have 1 minute to pot as many reds as you can. Good luck. We've got John on the clock. Oh, potted one. Well done, mate. It's a good start, Fionn. Cracking shot. Wow. You meant that one. Well done. Just coming up to 20 seconds gone. Oh, is it in? Oh. Hard luck, Fionn. They are tight, these. Yes, 100 mile an hour that was. Well done. Oh, lucky. 30 seconds gone, Fionn. Can we pop 2 or 3 more reds? That'd be nice. Good shot. Oh, hard luck. 20 seconds left, Fionn. Yeah, 2 reds in at the moment. I reckon we've got a chance for 2 more shots here, Fionn. Make them count, my friend. Beautiful. 1 more shot. We'll give you 1 more shot, Fionn. I'll tell you what, if you pot a red from there, there'll be a big round of applause. Come on, Reds, come in all pockets. Yellow back, please. Round of applause. Well done, Fionn. Fabulous, mate. You've earned yourself a World Snooker medal and a flyer.
But thank you very much, Fionn, for that. And it feels right to read that out on episode 100 because he has been a brilliant supporter of the podcast for so long. So thank you very much to Fionn Lynch. And once again, thank you for listening to all of that Dominic Dale over the years. But we've got one more email, Tom, and it's once again Matt from Middlesbrough. So who knows where this is going to go? But let's go for it. Good evening, Hazel. Good evening, Seema. Good evening, Vicky. Good evening, Big Bill Werbeneck. Good evening, Patsy Fagan. Good evening, Katrin. Good evening, Joe. Good evening, Tom. Another good evening to Vicky. Firstly, I hope you enjoyed my crazy imagery and posters across the World Championships roundups. Don't worry, there isn't one today, although I'll let you in on a little secret. I've discovered the true cause of the power cut that happened last week at the Crucible. More info on that another time. Oh, dear.
Oh dear.
I wanted to be serious for a change and ask you guys a question or two. With back-to-back with Chinese world champions, the Chinese Revolution is finally here. How do you see this affecting the future of British snooker? In China, snooker is only on the rise with countless young Chinese players coming through, while in the UK it feels like there's becoming less and less access to clubs, so naturally far less British youngsters are coming through. In a decade or two's time, as we are heading for an inevitable top 16 full of all Chinese players who'll dominate the game completely, how will that affect interest in the sport over here? How will the sport cope with a lack of characters, with Chinese players, of course, speaking a different language and not really having as much personality? Well, I think that's quite a claim. Will snooker become a sport full of immensely skilled but very robotic Chinese players, leaving the sport lacking in many characters and, more importantly for us, many British stars? I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on the long-term future of the game and whether this is actually a good thing for snooker or not as a whole. Love the pods throughout the World Championship. You're a fine pair of gentlemen. Thanks for all your hard work. Can't wait for more to come. Thanks, Matt, for that. I think we've kind of talked about sort of the Chinese Revolution as people call it in a few podcasts, but I think it is quite stereotypical, really, that the Chinese players don't have character, because Wu, plays a very attacking style of game. He's got the Wu's chant. Zhao Xintong actually speaks very good English in most of his interviews. Very fluent player. Ding, of course, has become a bit of a jester over the last couple of years. I mean, he was spotted climbing on the table in his match against Zhao Xintong. So, I don't know. What are your thoughts about that, Tom?
It's a strange thing to worry about when I'd say that I don't really feel like we've had any British characters come through in the past 15 years anyway. Like, if you think of the top players to come through, you're talking Judd, you're talking Mark Selby. That I don't think there's much off the table. They don't have the same charisma as the likes of the JV, likes of John Parrott, Ronnie. Those players, even Steve Davis, who was known for being boring in his pomp, he still had a bit more sort of about him. Whereas I don't feel that we've had a British player with that kind of charisma in a long, long time anyway. So I think that's probably part of the reason why snooker is struggling in the UK, is that we don't have the characters anymore. There's no Luke Littler, if you like, Stan Moody wants to be that, but to do that, you have to win at the Crucible. You can't just turn up. You need to go far and be charismatic and be all these incredible things, and play great snooker, etc., etc. So I feel like the lack of characters in the game is a long-term issue, and is shown by the fact that the class of 92 is still probably the 3 biggest draws, which I think says a lot for, frankly, a lot of snooker over the past 20 years. I don't think we've had any massive characters. Do you know what I mean?
And I think to build on what you've said, Jimmy White is still a big draw at the qualifiers and stuff. Crafty Ken, for instance. They're still big draws at the qualifiers. So that is a big problem for snooker on the whole. And actually, if you think about this 20-year extension of the Crucible contract, we could be at a point in 15 years, let's say. The class of 92 will be in their mid-60s. Even the likes of Judd Trump will be 50 at that point. Okay, you might still have the likes of Kyron and Zhao Xintong and Wu Yize, who will still be around as top players in 15 years' time. But you could have a potential problem of there might be maybe 5 British players at the championships, and I'm not saying that it's going to be all Chinese, the rest of them. I think it's going to be mainland Europe. I think, obviously, Hossein is from Iran. There are Saudi Arabian academies, that are plowing a lot of money into snooker, so it's not unthinkable that in 15 years we could have a top Saudi Arabian snooker player. I think snooker is going to become more international, and it'll be interesting to see what the attitudes are on the Crucible getting another extension in that amount of time, when maybe it's not as British-centric a sport. But yeah, that will be an interesting one to see, whether we actually do end up seeing a real decline of British players at the top of the game. And I guess that would be caused by a lack of interest in the youngsters of watching snooker.
Yeah, it comes from a few big reasons, I think. I suppose the big thing that China does is there's a lot of grassroots funding from their government to encourage players and to basically get a constant revolving door of new players in, whereas the UK, we don't have that. There's no real, very, very little government funding for snooker, which is a huge shame, and it's part of the reason why both clubs are struggling and there's less players taking it up. So I think the top 16, I don't think it's ever going to be all Chinese players. I think that's highly unlikely, just because, over the past 30 years, it's probably very rarely been all British players, frankly. There's always been a Ding or a Neil Robertson, James Wattener, Cliff Thorburn.
Tony Drago.
Exactly. There's always been, so I don't think it ever will be, it's all top 16 Chinese. I just don't think that's plausible.
I agree, yeah.
And there always will be some British players picking it up. Culturally, it is big in Britain's history of sport, so there always will be a small number of players breaking through, and just because there is going to be a lot of young Chinese players, it doesn't mean that a Stan Moody or a Liam Pullen or Liam Davis or someone like that, Sean Liu, any of these sort of players who are sort of based in Britain could still do very well and get to the top 16. So I think it's
Ronnie Sullivan.
Exactly, Ronnie Sullivan, Ronnie's half brother, no doubt. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be a complete lack of British players. I think there will be less. That there could come a time where it's, only about 5 of them at the World Championship. Definitely, that's plausible. But at the same time, I think as snooker fans, I think we're the people who are doing the most we can to try and support the game and to bring people in and to spread it. And a
lot of it rests with WST at the end of the day, and they are a company that I think are trying to go with the times a little bit. They're starting to make tentative pushes into that. Of course, they've got a new app for World Snooker, which doesn't work as well as the old website, but it's getting there. They obviously advertised for a digital media officer recently, and that is something that they're trying to push on the digital channels. They've got their own streaming software, but they've really got to try and get that interest of people that aren't us. You know, like we were introduced to snooker by our families, and at the end of the day, if people our age aren't into snooker, they're not going to introduce their families to snooker. So that's where they've got to try and sort of attract new interest is people our age and people younger than us to get into snooker. Initiatives of trying to get funding in clubs and whatever, and make it more affordable, because it is a very expensive hobby to have, I think, snooker at the minute. So yeah, that's that, because you always hear people, you know, I think most people our age probably had a snooker table bought for them for Christmas at some point. I'm not sure that will be the case for the next generation, and I guess that's what has to change is making it more accessible to the common person.
They need Riley snooker tables in every home that has an under 5 child. We need something crazy like that. Do you know what I mean? It really kind of literally puts the possibility in people's heads that you can give that a go, you can play it. Something along those lines, or something getting kids into snooker clubs.
Get it in schools, get it in, you know, get people to go to a local snooker club and have a kids' day there, an under-18s day, and get some of the top players going around the clubs and doing a bit of coaching. And as you said a few episodes ago, go around, do some exhibitions, get some interest, but heavily subsidised. You know, make it £15 a ticket or something, not obscene amounts of money to go and see Ali Carter versus Mark Selby, you know.
Poor old Ali Carter. He's trying to make his money somehow, mate.
He's got to, hasn't he? He's got to fund those flights all around the UK. Captain Carter. But no, thanks, Matt, for that. Obviously, you know, question. Let us know what you think down in the comments, or of course respond to Matt with Snooker Loopy Podcast at gmail.com and some fancheng email. And as we've proved tonight, we will read it out, no matter how long it is.
Absolutely. And we've just got free by YouTube comments. By you
YouTube comments.
By you
YouTube comments.
By you YouTube comments. It's the double U.
You'll get there eventually.
It's the double U that threw me. The by you YouTube comments. Okay, so Jonathan Ward says, really enjoyed the podcast over the last 17 days. As a new listener to the channel, it will feel weird not looking forward to your daily videos. Cheers, lads. Well, thank you very much, Jonathan Ward. Lovely to have you on board, enjoying them every day. It's very nice. And then we have Banksy Banks. Have thoroughly enjoyed these Crucible episodes. Definitely going to miss them now the snooker's finished. Thanks for continuing to feature the compilation album and my glorious prediction victory, which, as Tom rightly points out, is really a victory for the podcast.
Ah.
He then puts a winky.
To be fair, he said it was a victory for him, Banksy. He didn't say it was for the podcast, but yeah.
And then we've got good old Chinny, who says, he says, great job, guys. Your coverage was great. Really enjoyed listening while decorating my house.
Well, it's been great to hear from you, Chinny, and we'll, as I've said to you in a message as well, we'll have to have you on the podcast over the next few months and hear your thoughts about Cue the Music and all of that.
Chinny, can you do us a Snooker Loopy?
Chinny would absolutely do that. I'm sure he would.
You've put the pressure on him now.
Put the pressure on him now, Hazel. But I think, Tom, that about takes us to the end of what is episode 100 of the Snooker Loopy podcast. It has been absolutely amazing. Thank you very much to everybody for all of your support over the last 100 episodes, all of the memories, all of the laughs, and all of the little nuggets of things we found in the world out there. I now own some World Snooker beer mats. You know, I've got some Kellogg's figures of Dennis Taylor and Stephen Hendry. So what more can I ask for, Tom? Oh, and a big Stuart Bingham in the background there.
You've got a big Stuart Bingham, which Joe's got a lot of stuff behind him. He's got a really good kind of set, I kind of think of it as, but it's always the Bingham that stands out to me. I don't know why. It just catches my eye in the background.
I'm very glad, Tom. Very glad.
But yeah, thank you all so much for listening along, whether you've listened to 100 episodes or whether you've only just made your first 10 break, whatever it is, we do appreciate you guys coming along and joining in and commenting and liking, subscribing, sharing, all that stuff people do. Because, I mean, we would still do it if no one listened, but it wouldn't be anywhere near as fun.
Absolutely. And, you know, this is only the beginning, as they say. We've reached the century, but now we need to go for the 147, Tom.
Or should we finish on 153? Imagine that if we did that.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, yeah, finish on 153. That still means we've got 53 more episodes to enjoy, though, Tom. So, yeah. Countdown's on, everybody.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Enjoy it while it lasts. And, well, I guess one final thing to say, Tom, is good evening, Hazel. Good evening, everybody at home. Good night, JV. And turn up!